Hello, everybody. Welcome. I'm Love Coach Scott Thomas, and it is the Awakening World, and it's our early show. And it's going to be a special early show because I am going to have just a deep conversation with someone who's become one of my absolutely favorite human beings. And that's my co host for this whole weekend, Larisa Stow. I'm going to bring Larisa on camera here. And I want to welcome all of you in the chat box. And you know what to do. Let us know your name and where you're from. And right off the bat, I always love seeing so many of our friends. John, you always get in there first. John from Norfolk, Virginia. But Percy, Lynn, Leaf, Guru Nam Khalsa, Eleanor Joy, Christine, you all are really precious. Moses, welcome everybody. It's all about love. We're talking about love as we prepare for Valentine's weekend. And we've all, I think, had an interesting life journey of learning what love really means, what love really is. And so when Larissa and I were talking about what do we want to do this weekend, we came up with the theme of how can true love create heaven on earth. And Larissa is really, for me, such a good person to talk about this because I work with her a lot these days, which is amazing. And we've become friends. I've gotten to know her personally, professionally, and she does everything with love. She always has this loving embrace. And even when she's talking about the challenges that she might be having personally, with her health, or with family, or professionally, or with life, there's always this loving understanding that she brings to her perception of reality. And that to me is how we embody true love as spiritual beings having this incredibly challenging human experience, right? So that's my perception of Larissa. And hi there, my friend.
Hi there, Scott. So grateful. You are such a wonderful example and embodiment of that. It's funny to hear you explain and express your connection with me. But it really, the reason why you feel that way about me is that's how you show up.
Oh,
You were that.
thank you. Well,
Love
thank
bug.
you for being a beautiful sacred mirror. And that's, there it is. It's life, everybody in our life is reflecting back to us. Our difficult relationships are reflecting back unmet needs, unmet values, difficult stuff. Well, thank you, Larissa, for reflecting back the commitment to doing everything with love. And
Is the commitment,
that's the
no
commitment,
matter what.
no matter what. And with that, I'm going to kind of actually turn it over to you. I'll be here, but I'm going to put the spotlight on you because there's something that you've agreed you're going to share with our audience today, which I'm really grateful for. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting to um, go public about this so much, but I realize that it's super important to be as authentic as possible, especially in these times uh, where there's a lot more polarity and people are feeling a little bit more fearful, about being completely honest about who they are. And so my heart is telling me, like, okay, this is like really vulnerable stuff to share with the world, but it feels really important to not only to model that, but to give others permission, because I know there's a lot of people that in the shadows um, are going through things and don't always feel comfortable to come out and share about what they're going through and allow others to see into that that place on the inside that feels really vulnerable. Um, so I'll just putting it out on the line. It wasn't that long ago. It was a couple Saturdays ago that, and I should before let me preface it this way. Back in 2019, I had a, a quote cancer scare, um, when I was told that I had probable ductal carcinoma in situ at the time, which is uh, breast cancer within the milk ducts. And I was told that I should get a mastectomy at that time. And I felt like since it was probable, even though there was a high probability that it was, I felt like I wanted to do everything that I could holistically first before I went down that route. And going down that route, I can say with the mindset, because it's all for me, it's completely about allowing that healing presence to come through and knowing, that what you want to create on the other side. So that's what I did. And it completely disappeared, like completely disappeared. Um, and now I'm being given another opportunity because as I've experienced in life, life is not like, you go from point A to point B, you're unhealthy, then you're healthy. It's like this spiral, just like our DNA. Everything's like the DNA. Everything is spiraling all the time. And one of the things I have been shown, and I work with like the people that I work with one on one, that I feel like really makes a big difference when things come back around the bend. There's a tendency to feel like I did something wrong. Um, didn't I do all of this? Didn't I do the work that I needed to do? But what I see is that we take, rather than that one step forward, two steps back, we take two steps forward, one step back for integration. And just as a DNA spiral goes up and it comes back around here, that contraction before the expansion, there's this opportunity to really get the lessons and to grow exponentially.
I,
So,
I'm, I'm going to jump in for a second because I so agree with that. And I just want to acknowledge, okay, where am I? I'll add myself. It's two steps forward, one step back. And sometimes there's some circling around and doing a little dance around and around and around for a while before we take that next step forward. Um, you know, true growth, I'm in the change business as a coach, and true change does not take place in a linear fashion.
no.
Um, and so often our life lessons keep coming back in new ways. And it doesn't even mean we haven't learned it. It oftentimes means there's the next level or the next evolution of that lesson. And so I just love Coach Scott had to jump in on that one.
Thank you, Love Coach Scott. Scott. Yes, absolutely. Um, so yeah, for me, it came back around. This lesson came back around on a couple Saturdays ago when I was taking a shower and I felt my breast and I felt this lump in my breast. And it was pretty dang big. I've never felt something that big before. And to be completely transparent, I sauna about 6 days a week and I do lymphatic massage with the dry brushing and I massage my lymphatic system to keep everything moving so I know what's going on in there. Okay? I know what's happening. So when I felt this, it was so shocking. Um, and I got right away to ultrasound and a mammogram. And I the lump that I found is actually just a cyst, but there is another one next to it that's about a centimeter right now, and we don't know what it is. But I'm also have some stuff going in my lymph nodes, so this could be super scary, or I can look at this in a very different way, which is this is an incredible opportunity right now to have even more faith and to trust at the deepest level that spirit has my back and that this is happening for me and not to me, and that this is happening for my community and not to my community. And when I say that, I don't even mean just from the perspective of um, if this is like, that I can just turn this around, even if it's more challenging, even if it's more difficult, no matter what happens, no matter what happens, I believe with all my heart that this is happening for in the highest picture. And I know that I can turn it around because I've had this incredible experience in my life of being able to turn around rheumatoid arthritis that I had in my 20s when I was on a walker. Had an incredible healing then. I've had three um, bleed outs of where I've had to have blood transfusions in my life. I've had endometriosis. I've had macular degeneration that turned itself around. I'm like a walking, miracle. And the reason being is because that connection with spirit is so strong. Like it's so strong. And my sister, my soul sister, Viraja, who happens to be just sitting over here on the sidelines, supporting me, loving me right now. She was with me. She was with me back in 2019 when I went through this, and she was there when I was like at my like whoa, like really sick, when I was in a lot of pain, and it was like literally at that time when you were there that I was like, I went so deep into spirit has my back. Even though I was in mass, like just so much pain, it was hard to see my way out of where I was, so to speak. But my faith was so strong and is so strong that by repeating that, spirit has my back, spirit always has my back. I am healing now. It completely started, everything started shifting, everything started making sense. I started getting the help that I needed. And this, when I share this with all of you, I share it not only just to, share this, what I'm going through right now, but to be a testament of that, the depth of true love, which is we come from love and we return to love because we are love, and believing in that no matter what, and how that can turn everything, like the thing that you think cannot turn around with your mind could be like, I have a hard time seeing my way out of this, and yet it does. I mean, it will happen for the highest, like for the highest. What's happening is for the highest no matter what. And so this is what what I've been taught. And I came in, a lot of you know this, a lot of you don't know this, but my mama took DES when she was pregnant with me, which is a pharmaceutical. And that pharmaceutical is a synthetic estrogen. So babies that were born, specifically female babies that were born with their moms taking the DES, have many of the things that I'm going through right now because it throws off our hormonal balance. Like we're struggling with hormonal balance, throughout our life. It's something that we have to be on top of. It's a disability. However, with every disability, that plant, like if the plant's cut off here, if the tree's cut off here, it has to learn how to grow over there, right? So even though I've had this disability and it's something that I've been working with, I feel like it's given me tremendous gifts as well in this lifetime. I've had to like get my mindset, get my heart set like in a really healthy place. So yeah.
Thank you so much for sharing that. And we decided we wanted to have you talk about it as this topic of true love, because an aspect of true love is learning to love the body and still love life even when life's circumstances are not what we want, and are hard and are painful. And so of course, you're getting a lot of comments, people wishing you maximum grace, appreciating your honesty. Connie Marlowe, talking about how it's all about love. I'd love to ask you, what are some of the practices that you do that help you especially in the hardest times, when you are in the most challenged? What are some of your practices that help you as you're coping with, physical health and extreme physical health challenges?
Well, I've got a lot of them, Scott. There's not
I know you do.
one. It's like I got a whole bag of them. On the
Share with us the ones that other people might be able to replicate or relate to.
Okay. Well, I feel like really at the core of the core is listening deeply to spirit, like being a puppet of spirit. I know that sounds kind of strange, but I had a whole experience with spirit where it was asking me, "Are you ready to be my puppet?" Didn't like how that sounded, but now that I understand that we're we're going to be a puppet of something. We're either going to be a puppet of spirit or we're going to be a puppet of the 3D mind, um, of our socialized, conditioned thinking. So I choose to be a puppet of spirit, and that means listening, like really listening. And we hear all the time, but choosing to listen, like to the simplest things in life, like, um, and it's kind and loving to the self, like, you got to drink more water, you got to go to bed earlier, um, you got to stay put a little bit more, don't jet off everywhere. Um, that's like the real simple, although it's challenging for most of us. And I'm doing a cleanse. I know you are too, Scott, but right now I'm doing a cleanse, like no alcohol, no sugar, um, no grains. It's pretty strict. And yet that's what spirit's saying. And it's not just about the body. It's also about the the surrender, to leveling up, to becoming even more of a love warrior and surrendering to that process. That's huge. Another tool, and I say it's a tool, and I really do believe it is, it's like envisioning what I do want, like envisioning the health that I want and how I want to play in the world as well. Like, what am I up to? Like, why do I want to be here? Why do I want to stay in my body? And doing the work, doing all the shadow work, because believe me, I have some shadow, and I'm always surprised. Oh, there's another chunk. Yeah, there's another chunky chunk. I didn't see you. Oh my God. So
Surprise, surprise, surprise.
exactly. So it's being willing to do that shadow work, which I am. Like I'm really like, okay, bring it on. Bring it on. What do you want me to see that I'm not seeing? What do I need to see beyond underneath this hood? You know. And so there's shadow work. Like I continue like this healing process. Like people think a lot of times it's just about the physical. Like, oh, I gotta research and get, really get the right medications or the right natural products or the right this or the right that. And that is a part of it, absolutely. But what a lot of people miss, and this is the work I like to do with people in my session work, it's like, what what are those shadowy pieces that we don't want to see? What do you not want to see in there? What do you not want to look at, about yourself? Because there may be a part of you, if you have some kind of thing going on, even somebody who was born, you know, lacking the hormones, that most people have, even for us, there's always this opportunity to do the deeper emotional work, um, that shadow work. And I've seen it in myself, even with just this time around the bend, since a couple Saturdays ago, I've done a deep dive. And for those who were on last night, it's like had a really interesting look at the part of Larisa that didn't want to get older. So it's like, I'm afraid of getting older. And it's like, oh, that right there, that limiting belief, that fear, if I'm not really honest about it and I don't face it head on and then choose to be in my body and choose to face whatever may come with getting older, right? Then I could unconsciously be opting out, right? So that true love is like, I'm committed to listening. I'm committed to doing my shadow work. Um, I'm committed to seeing what I actually um, want to create in this life and seeing myself as healthy and whole. And how do I see that from here, and maybe even an up leveling of it, right? So the commitment to do my work physically right now, I could see, God, I keep up leveling all this, what I'm doing, and my commitment to my health, my commitment to being here, my commitment to growing older in life, with a whole, like, yes, like, that's, it's the better alternative, right? then then I am fully in alignment, and my chances of healing just go like that, right? So that's my relationship right now with myself and with this process.
Thank you so much for sharing this, Larisa. And definitely, I'll enjoy you going back and reading all the comments because so many of our friends, and there really is a beautiful community that has formed, started with Saturday Night Live and now this Global Peace Tribe community. And so many of our regulars are just appreciating you very, very much. As is my friend Emily, who will be on the show a little bit later. She's going, oh my God, this is what I needed to hear. And it is a gift for you to talk about your process. And we all are aging and we all are getting older. We're all a day older than we were yesterday. And we're a year older than we were last
I'm
year.
the youngest today than we'll ever be again. So that's right. It's like, this is the youngest I'm gonna be.
This is the youngest I'll ever be. Oh my God.
It's funny, Gotta play with it. We gotta play with this life.
We've got 2 minutes left. And so and then I've got to get us ready to do the Facebook thing. Would you say that your relationship to the divine, to divinity, continues to grow through these challenges? And if so, in like 2 or 3 minutes, how does that happen for you?
Can I swear? I'm like, it's like I feel like a fucking warrior. What it does is it's like there's this love warrior on the inside of me. It's just like warrior up, you know. And when it gives me this opportunity to like to come that much more in alignment with my faith. I get to choose it. I get to choose it, and it's like a medicine journey. I'll just say it's like a medicine journey when you're, for those of you who've ever done one, it's like there can be these really dark moments, like where you're in the bardo and you feel like you're dissolving and it feels like you're barely holding on. Well, when you have like major illness that which could be life threatening illness, it kind of does the same thing. That's what I felt like in 2019. Like I was in this constant medicine journey. And this time it was like, here we go, game on, So it's like, and it gives me this opportunity to just, okay, everything that you're afraid of, it's like, I love God so much. I love the divine so much that it gives me this opportunity to surrender at such a deep level and to actually show myself how surrendered I am, and to show my community, to show my family, um, my friends, that it's going to be okay, no matter what, that it's going to be okay, and that it is happening for. So to be that, and I've just seen how that affects my children, that kind of strength I see, especially with my eldest, who's 21. I can just see how it's really shifting her, watching me go through what I've gone through. She's becoming more and more of a warrior.
Yeah.
Like bam, and I'm like, that's my girl, you know.
Speaking of warriors, I just want to direct people, and I put the link in the chat, in the Zoom room chat. But Larisa has a wonderful group, which is Larisa's Shakti Love Warriors group. And you gather every day at 11 o'clock in the morning, and you do a meditation at 11:11. Sometimes you lead it, sometimes other people lead it. And I really want to encourage everyone right now, you're all on a computer, so go to her Shakti Love Warriors group. I've put the link in, just click it, go and join. You'll see a little button right up here that says join, click it. So that you can really become a part of the amazing work that you're doing. And well, I'll mention it again during the main show because I've got to get us ready to go live on Facebook.
Absolutely.
And
Well,
we're going to get a lot of Larisa for the next hour, which is nice. And her four other Larisa Shakti Love Warriors, including Viraja Prama. so,
right. That's right.
all right, I'm going to get us ready to go do the Facebook Live thing. Thank you so much, Larisa. I
Thank
adore
you,
you.
Scott. Thank
Read the chat box. Read how many people love you.
Okay. Okay.
And I'll see you in a moment.
Okay.
Okay.